Yo, what is up, guys? Welcome back. How's it going, guys? Yo, hello, everyone. Welcome to Booted. This is episode 4. For all the marbles. This is the grand season finale of season 1, the very first finale of this series. Thank you all for being here so much. I know this is a very new initiative for the channel, so I just want to give a huge shout out. I'm very grateful to all of you who have supported this new initiative so far. So good to have you all back. And if you're first timers, well, welcome. I hope I don't disappoint you like I usually do. Yeah, it's going to be an exciting show because everything is on the line. We've got a $500 gift card that we're going to be giving away. Not giving away, but one lucky finalist will be earning tonight per your votes. Y'all in the live audience there. So hey, let me know if the audio video is okay. I know we were having a rough start with the first couple of episodes there with some choppiness. Freaking chopped salad over there. But hopefully, I am using a new system for today. One that I have not tried before. And that is, I think I have I set up a little cam for it. I'm using the Silent Night build that I did back in December for Christmas. That's why it's all red and green and god-awful ugly. Before I was using a half-stacker build with a 4770K, and there was no discrete GPU in there. I was just running off of the integrated graphics on the CPU, so hopefully this does a better job of, I don't know, smoother streaming. Inevitably, hopefully that's the deal. But y'all let me know. No lag, looks good. Yeah. Let's just hope that carries through the rest of this episode. I really hope it does. On that note, this is really exciting, guys. I'm super excited to see who wins because I was looking at all 3 contestants earlier today, thinking about who I would vote for personally, and it's a tough call, man. It's a tough call. You know, I really like the H440, and all 3 finalists today have an H440. That just happened coincidentally. This is not sponsored by NZXT in any way. It's actually sponsored by Fantex, who I'm going to talk about right now, actually. And then we're going to dive right into the 3 finalists. We're going to recap on all the pros and cons of each of their systems, and then put it to a vote and see which one brings home the dough and which other 2 get booted indefinitely. I know it's very sad. This is a very sad, depressing show. But why don't we go ahead and take a look at our sponsor, Fantex. You guys have been a great sponsor for this first season of Booted. You guys put your faith in me. A lot of other sponsors probably wouldn't have taken the leap of faith that you guys had, especially on a little YouTube channel like myself. They've got some great stuff here. Their new Eclipse P400 is an excellent case. I had a chance to look at it at CES 2016, just last month, and they've even got a P400S for a silent version. Well, they got the P400, which is not silent, and they got the P400S for silent, like sound dampening material on the panels and stuff like that. They've got some RGB colors here. While it's not 16 point whatever million colors, there are like 9 or 10 different colors you can scroll between, and they do have some RGB strips to go along with that. Which, if you guys have an Enthoo Lux, then you're probably familiar with that whole setup. And we're going to be talking a little bit more about their new RGB LED adapter and how you can possibly get one for free. So stay tuned for that. Yeah. Is it still smooth? I'm expecting any minute now for the stream to just crash and for things to be horrible. But let me know. So far, it's looking good. I'm seeing 0 drop frames. According to XSplit, they could be lying to me, but who knows? On that note, let's just go ahead and quickly recap. Let's go to the How It Works page. All right, so you guys who have stuck with me from the season 1 premiere earlier this month, you were there for week 1 when we had our first 5 contestants. You were there for week 2 when we had 5 more, and week 3 where we had the last of our 15 PC entries, and we voted 12 of them off, and only 3 of them came out in the end, and that's where we're at right now, is week 4, with 3 remaining finalists. Very exciting stuff. Very exciting. And like I said, it's anyone's ball game. It's anyone's game right now, because really they're all pretty excellent little systems here. And this is the mid-range edition, by the way, so you're not going to see anything super fancy high-end, and you're not going to see any low-end ketchup and mustard stuff either. So we're right in that sweet spot. This is probably the type of build that most people have. probably the most relatable system tier, if you will. So hopefully you guys are familiar with that sort of thing. And before I ramble on too much longer, why don't we go ahead and kick it off with contestant number 1. Finalist number 1, I should say, which is Luke. Luke, you are our week 1 finalist, the very first finalist of the series. How's that feel, Luke? Do you feel any different? Are the ladies flocking to you like in the Axe commercials? I bet they are. If they're not, then you just need to tell them, look, I was a week 1 finalist on Booted season 1, baby. Getting my draws, or whatever the kids say these days. You've got a pretty nice system here, Luke. You've got an Intel, I don't need to talk about the case, but you've got a Core i5-4690K. You've got an NZXT Kraken X61. Beautiful cooler. MSI Crate Edition Z97S. Also a very nice choice of motherboard for this case. As you can see here, guys, he's gone with the white edition, kind of a black and white theme. When we take a look here, you've got a Radeon R9 265, which is probably the most questionable part hardware-wise of this build, because it is pretty low-powered compared to the beefy CPU you've got in there. But maybe that's exactly what you had in mind for spending that $500 gift card on, is maybe a new fancy GPU. But there are a lot of things I like about this system. For one, I think you've got the theme down pretty solid. The black and white, there's nothing that really stands out. I mean, there's a little bit of red on that SanDisk SSD. I'm not going to fault you for that. It's so minimal, and you don't really see it all too much. But cable sleeving as well. I really like how you got those white extensions. As I mentioned in week 1, I would have liked to see some more tightening, maybe some zip tying, or some cable training of that PCIe cable. That looks like it's kind of just fraying at the end as it goes into that lower cutout there in the PSU shroud. So maybe some points docked for that. And yeah, I mean, honestly, this is a pretty solid build. If we look at the money shot here, you can kind of get a look at, yeah, that's definitely a budget card. You get those nasty red stickers on the bottom, which you know, a lot of cheapy video cards these days don't tend to look the greatest. And that's not, I'm not going to fault you for that, really, because this isn't about how much money you have to spend on high-end GPUs. It's about the PC as a whole. And I think overall you've done a nice job. I really like how you went with an NZXT cooler and an NZXT case. Those two go hand-in-hand really beautifully. As you can see, the white fans there, they all match. All the radiator fans and your case fans very much in sync, which I think was a really good call. You do have some LEDs on this bad boy as well. And that was one thing that I think I docked you some points for. And again, guys, if you're not aware, the points here don't matter. Just like in Whose Line Is It Anyway? I just like to give them out or take them away. Yeah, the LED strip, which you can see over here, guys, he's lined right along that hard drive cage wall, whatever you want to call it, which is, granted, probably one of the best spots you could pick. One of the few spots that you can choose to have LED strips run along the H440 if it's on that side of the case. But the downside to that is that you kind of see the LEDs bleeding through the side panel window, which, you know, it's not my fave. It's not my fave. It doesn't look quite as seamless. It's a bit distracting. It kind of takes away from your actual components. And I would have liked to see another LED strip maybe on the left side of your chassis so that you would provide some more even lighting across the entire innards of your case, just to give a more even coat of lighting and that sort of thing. And here's a nice wide shot of your system. It looks like you keep it very clean as well, so I appreciate a nice clean system. It looks like you dusted or you clean it out regularly, or it's a brand new system that you just built. But given the hardware specs, how you're going with Haswell and an older generation AMD card, I would guess that you built this maybe a year or two ago, or a year ago or so. But, you know what time it is now, guys. You know what time it is. It's time to reveal Luke's cable management. This is the first time on the series that we will be revealing such a thing. Revering words. Let's take a look. You never know what we might find behind the motherboard tray. Boom! Okay. So, the other thing about cable management here is that since all of our 3 finalists are using the same case, we can kind of rate their cable management on an even playing field, right? Same number of tie downs, same space and all that sort of thing. And here it looks like you've done a decent job. It's not as atrocious as it could be. And the thing about the H440, and frankly any case that has a power supply shroud that allows you to just stuff cables inside of, is that it tends to make you a bit lazy when it comes to cable management. It really does. And a lot of the builds that I've done that have power supply shrouds, I usually just say screw it, and I just stuff them all in the power supply in that area under the shroud. Now that's fine because no one's really going to see it. I mean, from the regular basic side from this angle, no one's going to know. They're none the wiser. But where cable management does come in handy, regardless of people can see it or not, is when you need to swap out a component or you need to rewire something. Then the clutter really takes away. It's an inconvenience, and having a nicely wired system is very important as a builder. If you're a DIY type of person, that is, where you're swapping out components, you're upgrading, you're troubleshooting things, replacing your hardware and stuff. So I think you've done a pretty fair job. I mean, it looks like you are utilizing a lot of the tie-down points where you should be. It's just when you get to that power supply shroud area, it looks kind of jumbled, and I think that could be a little bit neater. Not for anyone who walks in your room's sake. Like I said, they're not going to see it, but for your sake, Luke, to tidy all that up at the bottom and make your life a whole lot easier anytime you need to swap out something. But overall, beautiful, beautiful system here, Luke. I can see why the audience has voted you Week 1 finalist. On that note, why don't we go ahead and move on to Mitchell? Mitchell! Wait, is this Luke's build again? No, it's not, actually. They just look strikingly similar in the H440 White Edition. We've got another Core i5. This time we're going with a 6600K, so we're on that current-gen Skylake hype. And then we've got an NZXT Kraken X41. An Asus Z170AR motherboard. Great budget, semi-budget to mid-range board, but I'll talk about that board in a little bit. Got 16 gigs of Corsair Vengeance and an EVGA GTX 960 Super Clock. All right, looking at this system from this angle, cable management is pretty on point, I will say. Again, we've got those white sleeved extensions, which I'm really loving. Goes perfectly with this system. I can't really argue that at all. And I like your cooler choice. It's not a 240, but that doesn't matter. I think it's well placed and it looks good in the system. You've also got an NZXT Hue Plus there, and it looks really nice in that SSD slot. Who would have thought that an NZXT Hue Plus would match so well with one of their own cases? But we're gonna see some LED money shots in just a bit. The PCIe cable, however, coming from that 960 of yours, it looks a little bit awkward to me because it looks like you tied it down kind of at the back, like right at, where your motherboard is, and then it kind of just hangs out. It kind of pulls like a sharp right, and I think that looks a little strange, especially when you have that cable cutout that the H440s provided you right at the power supply shroud there. So I don't know, not a huge fan of that routing strategy or that routing decision, but it's taste. It's just my opinion, man. And then you've got some money shot for us here. Now this is where I have a gripe with the motherboard. The Z170AR, while it is a fantastic board, and I've read a couple good reviews about it for its price point and stuff. It's got a lot of features. It does have a brown PCB, which personally not a fan of. It doesn't really match with anything. I mean, maybe it's not even the same shade of brown that you'd find on like a Noctua fan. And it just looks very budget. I don't know what it is, but anytime I see a brown PCB on any kind of motherboard or in any system, it just strikes me as being kind of like a more economical piece of hardware. And yeah, so a black PCB might have been a nicer looking choice there. However, when we go over to your LED shot here, it looks absolutely fantastic. Obviously, you can't really see the brown because it's kind of flushed out by the LED strips of that NZXT Hue. And unlike Luke, you've actually placed the LED strip kind of far off to the right, and you caught onto this. I feel like you probably initially had the LED strip mounted in the same place that Luke did, And then when you lit it up and put the side panel on, you realized that it was still kind of too close to the side panel window, and you were seeing some LED bleeding kind of through that window there. So you went the extra mile to route that cable a little bit out of the way, that LED strip, I mean. And I think it really paid off here because it looks very nice. The coating is fairly even. It looks like you've got a longer strip as well than Luke did, so you do get a nice little bit of more even lighting all around, which is nice. But nice color choice too. I see what you did there. But not all is done just yet. We still have to look at Mitchell's cable management, and I don't know. What do you think, guys? What do you think it is compared to Luke's? Let's find out. Boom! You know, honestly, if you were to show this to me right beside Luke's, one after the other, I would think it was the same system, because it almost looks like you guys have taken the exact same approach and put in about the same amount of effort when it comes to cable management. Again, there's some use. There's some use of tie downs here. I can see a couple points, but I feel like there were some missed opportunities where you could have grouped more cables together. And then going back to that power supply shroud conundrum, where it's just so easy to stash and, you know, cram everything into that little space, that large space actually. Yeah, not the greatest when you're trying to upgrade components or rewire certain pieces of hardware. So the audience will take that for what they will. I will leave it in their hands. But overall, solid little machine that you've got here, Mitchell. Again, I think the audience was, you know, they got it right by moving you on to the final round. But we've got one more guy to go. Or a girl. I'm pretty sure he's a guy, though. It sounds like a guy name. Hano. I hope I'm pronouncing your name right. Again, I'm sorry if I'm not. We've got another, yet again, as I said, an H440. This time it's in black and red. So refreshing. It's just a different color. That makes all the difference in the world. You've also got our first lock skew processor. You've got an i5-4430 Haswell CPU. And even though it's locked, you have a Z97 Maximus 7 Hero. So you could have maybe gotten an unlocked skew processor to do some overclocking. That would have been pretty sweet. But for whatever reason, you opted out of that, whether it was just to save a bit of funds, or you just weren't aware that you couldn't overclock on that chip, or maybe you just really liked the aesthetic of the Z97 board, didn't care for overclocking. That could be an option too. So many theories. Illuminati confirmed. And then you've got a really nice blackened theme going here. Those freaking cables, man. Those cables are fantastic. I don't know if those are cable mod or if they're actually Fantex. I know Fantex makes some really nice sleeved extensions as well. But hot damn, those kinds of extensions just make your system, they take it to a next level, to another level. Really make it look kind of pro grade. And I love your choice of DRAM. I think the DRAM, that HyperX, getting it in red and black was a super good idea. It just matches so perfectly with your video card and the sleeve cables, the motherboard. Everything meshes so well. And I also like your SSD there, that you did a little bit of modding. Spray painted that sucker red. I think that's a really nice choice. You didn't try to get too fancy with it. You're just like, nope, doing it clean red. The Crucial BX100. And, you know, it's not the prettiest drive, the BX100. It's super affordable, and it's a good performer for the price, but it really would have ruined the look of your overall system had you not done anything to it. So I really like how you modded that thing. Good paint job. However, taking a look again at the money shot, my big gripe with this system is the CPU cooler. And I don't expect you to go out and spend anything more than like 30-40 bucks on a CPU cooler, because you can't overclock your chip anyway. So what's the point, right? At the same time, Intel stock cooler is butt ugly. And you knew that, and you took some steps to try to rectify that issue aesthetically by taping the wire, that ugly, nasty green, blue, and yellow fugly wire that's connected to that stock cooler. as well as cover up that center sticker, which is equally hideous. While you get an A+ for effort, I have to say the execution here is probably the shortcoming of your system, because from afar you can't really tell all too much. The naked eye can't see all that great, but when you take a closer look, it definitely looks a bit amateur, I would say. I don't know if you use tape or paint or spray paint to cover that center sticker, but it's kind of bubbly, and it looks like makes me want like a hot, fresh oven-baked pizza. Doesn't look the greatest, man, I gotta say. So I'm gonna have to dock you some points for that. I mean, if you just went out and spent 30, 40 bucks on a CPU cooler that you didn't have to do any modifications to and risk the chance of it not looking all that clean in the end result, I think that might have been a wiser choice. Or just get another stock cooler and try again. But we've got one more picture to look at, and it's your cable management. Let's take a look. All right. Hey, you know what? I think, you know, I can see you've definitely worked with the tie downs, and you've kind of got these 3 pillars of cables going all the same direction. It's all, you know, parallel and stuff. And thank God you got some sleeved extensions, because those cables are just, condiments all around. Am I right? Jesus. So yeah, you know, good job on that. And quite frankly, I think this is probably the best cable management job that we've seen out of the 3 finalists. It just looks overall cleaner. Every cable is kind of grouped to, it's part of a group. There's no stray single fan cable dangling like I saw on number 1 and 2. Granted, I feel like maybe some room for improvement is available for the power supply shroud area. But considering that, you know, these are sleeved extensions, you're sometimes doubling the length of your power supply cable by doing so, you did a pretty nice job. Not too shabby, bruh, Mr. Hanno. And I don't know if... Oh yeah, okay, so my wife is on it. She's way more on top of it than I am. She's already posted links in chat for you guys to go ahead and check out all the pictures, all the pics of the 3 finalists that we've just talked about. And that'll give you a closer up look and a better idea of who you want to vote for, because right now, it's voting round. It's voting time, baby. So also, she should be posting the voting link to the straw poll where you guys will vote to see who wins the $500 grand prize. Oh yeah. Yeah, everyone say hi, Heather. Everyone say hi. Hi, Heather. Hi, honey. So, yeah, she'll go ahead and post the straw poll link in chat so you guys can actually vote on whichever PC you think is the best. And make sure to look at the systems carefully, guys. And also consider what the specs are. Not so much in terms of which one's more high-end, but how well they're matched. You know, think of it like if someone was giving you one of these rigs, which one would you want? That's kind of how I would probably vote on it, you know, because that way it's not all about aesthetics. It's not just which one looks the best. It's like, if I'm getting this system, I want it to be well-rounded. I want it to be, you know, well, maybe that's not the best, because then you'll be like, well, I just want the highest-end PC. Relatively speaking, just do, I don't care. Just pick the one you like. Let's not overcomplicate things, guys. Let's just, you know, let's keep it simple. Keep it simple, stupid. On that note, why don't we go ahead and take a look again at our sponsor for today, who is, and by the way, I'll put up the lower thirds thumbnails for our contestants, 1, 2, and 3 there. So Fantex, our sponsor, and then right after we do our sponsor spot, we're gonna go ahead and check out the poll results. If you guys want to be more suspenseful, then don't look at the results until I show them to you, because that'll create more suspense. Or don't look at chat for the people who are spoilers. Spoiler alerts, all of you. But Fantex, I was talking briefly about their RGB LED adapter, which they just released. And here it is. And this is basically, it's just if you have a compatible motherboard, as a lot of motherboards nowadays are starting to come out with RGB LED headers on them. So if you already have some RGB strips and you've got a compatible motherboard, check out this adapter from Fantex, yo. Check it out, y'all. The Maximus 8 Extreme, Maximus Formula Extreme, is one of those high-end boards that is compatible with this adapter, which is super cool. And if you happen to be a Phanteks case owner, they are currently doing a RGB LED adapter promo where you could get one of the adapters for free. Considering that you have a eligible Phanteks case and compatible motherboard. The compatible cases include the Enthoo Lux, the Mini XL, or their new Eclipse P400. Compatible motherboards include the Asus Maximus 8 Formula and the Maximus 8 Hero Alpha. So if you guys have like a combination of those two things, then you can actually send in, proof of purchase for both those items to Phanteks at support@phantexusa.com. Again, links to all this stuff is in the description, and they'll send you a free LED adapter, RGB LED adapter, which is pretty sweet. Yep, there's also links in the description for their Eclipse P400 and P400S if you want to check that out. Thank you again. Super, super, super kind of you guys to sponsor me. Thank you, Phanteks. I love you. I want to make babies with all of your cases. They're all so sexy. But on that note, guys, it's dramatic business time. It's voting time when I cue the dark, moody music, because that's what we're doing right now. We're revealing the winner. Oh, this is intense. I'm purposely not even looking at chat right now because I don't want to know who wins until I click the results button here. So who's gonna win? All the monies for $500 in either a Steam or Amazon gift card. This is intense, guys. But you guys have voted. You gave it some good thought, and the person you decided the winner is Hanno! Wow, by a landslide. Holy moly. Look at that, 68% of the votes. Wow. Holy bejesus, man. I was not expecting that much of a landslide with any of the three systems. I thought they were all great. But hey, don't you know that, the crowd has spoken. I am beyond words. Congratulations, Hanno. Honestly, your system was really kick-ass, man. Even despite the CPU cooler there. Let's not look at the cable management as your victory image. That's just wrong. Look at this. Look at this thing, guys. I think those just everything's composed so well. The SSD is such a nice touch. Those cable sleeves. Everyone congratulate Hanno on his victory. You, sir, are a winner of a $500 gift card. I will be getting in contact with you via email, so keep tabs on that. And hey, guys, that pretty much concludes the season finale of Booted. What? Season 1 complete. Dog. Guys, thank you so much for being here. This is exciting. And I don't see much of a rage in chat about quality issues, choppiness, so I'm really happy that Silent Night, good old Silent Night, pulled through, y'all, which is really strange because never had a problem with the half stacker build for awesome hardware, but I think maybe that this XSplit presentation just has so many more images and things going on that perhaps requires a bit more horsepower. But thank you, Silent Night. I do appreciate you. You are loved. And I appreciate all of you guys as well. Thank you all so much for coming out. In case you wanted to catch this live and you're watching the rebroadcast, you can catch Booted live every Monday. Not every Monday, but Mondays at 5:30 p.m. Pacific on gaming.youtube.com. Just go to my YouTube channel. Or follow me on Twitter for updates. I'll give you links to the direct video. Remember, guys, for months that have 5 Mondays in them, there's not going to be a show on that 5th Monday, which is like this month. There's five Mondays in February, because February is weird like that. So Booted Season 2 will actually return March 7th. That's when you guys will be able to see, I should probably take this down now, the very next episode of this series. And we're going to be coming with 5 new contestants, the first set of our brand new 15 entries, which is really exciting. It's also going to be a budget edition. So rather than mid-range, we're going to see, ketchup and mustard welcome. All ketchup and mustard is welcome to the budget series, the budget season of Booted next month. Because, I want to give all you guys who have some lower-end, more economical systems a chance to upgrade that rig and And then maybe you could enter for like another mid-range season in the future. That'd be funny. And then win that one, and then win $500 more, and then enter the high-end edition, like season 10, whenever that happens. But yeah, I don't know what I'm saying anymore. Guys, I love you. I love you all so much. Doing this show really makes me happy because you're all here with me, and I feel like we're all in it together. So, yeah, just from the bottom of my heart, thank you guys so much for all the support. And stay tuned for more tech videos coming really soon. Coming right at you on Awesome Sauce Network. I hope you all have a wonderful PC Master Race evening with your friends and family, or forever alone. That's fun too. And I'll be seeing you guys very soon. Have a good night, everyone. Peace.